Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you're here today, and today I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a 1 container herb garden in this old galvanized tub that we have here. So I just have a few herbs that I'm going to put in this container and make a 1 container herb garden. And so I'm using mine for herbs, but you could easily use this and plant other vegetables and things like that in it. If you maybe don't have a place to have a bigger garden, maybe if you just like live in an apartment or something like that, you could have a container like this just sitting right outside of your door. As long as it can get some sunshine, you can grow some things. So, you might could grow a tomato plant and a squash plant and a pepper plant or something like that. And if you had 2 of these, you could even do more things than that. But I'm doing herbs. I really like to have herbs, and one of the things that you can do, like if you don't have a garden, if you've never gardened before, growing herbs are one of the easiest things that you can grow, and they're one of the things that are the easiest to use, and it really makes the flavor of your food so much better when you have fresh herbs that you can use for your cooking and things like that. You can make pesto with your basil. There's just a lot that you can do with them, and it just really ups the flavor of your food. So if you've never gardened before, I would say, grab you some kind of a container and plant a few of your favorite herbs in there, and then learn how to use them, because you'll really appreciate how well they make your food taste. So if you've watched my channel for very long, you might remember that a couple of years ago we made a raised herb garden right outside of my kitchen door, because I like to have herbs close so that I can just go out and snip some when I'm cooking. But what happened is that bed is almost completely filled up with rosemary now, because the rosemary has gotten huge. And so I have room to plant a few little herbs in there, but not all of the ones I'd like to have. So I'm going to plant them in this container, and then I'll just put this container over near the other one, and then they'll be close outside my kitchen door, where I can just go out and snip whatever I want to use when I'm cooking. So what I have here is, let's see, I have flat leaf parsley, I have lemon balm, I have cilantro, and then these are actually chives, and they were way in the back where our garden used to be. And so they're just like, we haven't had a garden back there in years, and they're still growing really well. So I went and dug some of these up, and I'm going to plant them in here, because I haven't had any really where I would use them, so I haven't been using those. And then I have some 2 things that I started from seed this year. This is thyme, and this is basil, and I have more of both of these, but I'm going to plant one of each of them in here. And the reason that I went and bought these other ones, the lemon balm, the basil, and the lemon balm and the cilantro and the parsley, is because I didn't start those from seeds. I didn't start any of those from seeds, and I wanted some, so I found some the other day and I got those. So that's what all is going to go in here. Then when I was shopping for herbs, I also found this black cherry tomato plant, which I really like, and I could not find seeds for this year, so I bought one of these, and I'm going to plant this in here with my herbs. I think that this bucket is big enough for that. This is a cherry tomato plant. And then the other thing I have are some marigolds, and they are an excellent companion plant for the tomatoes, and the basil is too. So I'm going to plant my marigolds and my tomato and my basil all kind of close in here, and then I'll scatter the other things out. And the other thing is that the marigolds are just pretty, so they'll just add some color to my container here. And actually, if I have any room left, I'll probably stick a few other flowers in here too, just so that it will be flowers and herbs. So I've already got the soil in my container, and what I have here is an equal mix of well-rotted horse manure and dirt. We were able to get a big load of manure from a friend of mine, and it's really old, so it's well rotted. It's right for the plants, and that that's what I have in my container, and I'm going to go ahead and plant them in here. But another thing of when you plant in a container like this, if it's not actually a flower pot or something that's made to have plants in it, you need to make sure that it has drainage. So before we put the dirt in, we did make holes in the bottom, and also this tub, as you can see, it's kind of got some problems, so it didn't hold water anyway, but we added a few extra drainage holes in there because you want to make sure that the water can drain off so your plants don't get waterlogged and have rotten roots, and then they die, and then it's just a mess. The other thing about planting in a container is that you may need to fertilize your plants a little bit more often, because they can't, get anything out of the ground like they could if they were planted in the ground. And so that is where adding the horse manure at the beginning is gonna help a lot, because that's added a lot of fertilizer already into the soil. It makes the soil a lot richer and have a lot of good things in there. So that's what I'm planting in, and I'm gonna go ahead and kind of figure out where I want to plant these things, and then I can start planting them. So I'm going to put my tomato back here kind of in the back, and then these others can all just kind of go around the side. I'm not real particular about how I want them to be. I'll put chives in here. I am going to put my basil, and my basil's tiny right now, but it'll get pretty big. And I'm going to put my thyme in here. I'm going to put it over on the side. And then I'm going to stick my marigolds just over here someplace near the tomato plant. They're a good companion plant to the tomatoes because they repel aphids, and so they will probably actually be good for all of these things if they're planted in here. These are a good thing to plant in your garden, even if you have a regular in-ground garden, or if you have garden beds. Marigolds are always good to kind of plant around in there with your plants. So I'm just going to do something like this. I'm going to go ahead and get them planted. So the next thing you want to do after you get all of your herbs planted is to go ahead and water them. And I'm not going to water mine too much because we are expecting rain tonight. In fact, it seems like it's getting kind of close. And so they're going to get watered. But some of mine are pretty dry because they were in these little containers, and I didn't water them because I knew I was going to plant them. So I am going to go ahead and give them some water because they're not looking too great. So that's all there is to it. It's really easy to do. Like I said, just go pick some of your favorite herbs out and get you a container, a little bit of dirt and a little bit of fertilizer, put in there with it, and you'll be ready to go. And the only thing is you need to make sure that you have a spot that's going to get some sun during the day, because most herbs need at least part sun to full sun. So a lot of them take full sun, and it'll tell you that usually on the little tags what they need. And so that's it. I hope that this inspires you to go out and plant some herbs, and then have those to use when you cook. And especially if you don't have a place to make a big garden, something like this is perfect for you. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And like I said, I'm glad that you're here today, and I hope to see you back again next week.